Hello and welcome to Schmidy's guide on how to tank the New York raid in Secret World Legends. In this video, I'm just going to be going through the mechanics. If you need to see what kind of glyphs we're using, what our build is, what our gear is, I have a tanking build guide up. I am basically using the exact same stuff from that. The only real difference is that we care about what our gadget is. You need to have some kind of aggro force, and I have decided to make it my gadget because the boss mechanics require you and your other tank to swap aggro back and forth. Basically, he has an attack called Whisper of Darkness. He casts it on whoever happens to have aggro on him. It gives you 40 stacks of a dot that does considerable damage. And if he still has aggro on you when it ends, you die. I guess I will swap to the other group here. So basically that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be swapping back and forth. Although this agitator does give you aggro and let you keep it, along with the skills Evulsion, Glutton for Punishment, and Enter the Fray, please do not use Raging Volcano. It does not work. It doesn't give you much, so I'm actually going to stop attacking before I think aggro is going to be taken from me so that I don't actually accidentally grab aggro back by getting a couple critical hits or something. Alright, I've told everybody to get on the manhole cover when they're ready, and I believe we are starting.
Warning, the Air Force is preparing a strike on the exploding wall. Please evacuate the area.
So, target your other tank friend. And somewhere between 15 and 10 stacks, I just stop attacking right around here. So that way when aggro is taken from me, I'm not going to steal it. You'll see that filth gets splattered along. If you get that little circle around you, make sure you send it off to the sides. Try not to put it directly behind people. And then there will be pods, and we don't see one of those yet. But I'll try to take a peek when I can and show you the pods. And basically we are just hitting him and getting out of the way of these gigantic fists. Do not get fisted. It is not pleasant. So we're going to stop attacking, back off, and there's a pod. You can see where the dirt is being brought up from the ground. So it's the same general idea as the filth, where you'll get a circle around you and you have to dive out of the way of it, or else you get podded like that. Then the DPS are hopefully paying attention, and one of our healers is dead. We're going to keep going, though. Yeah, I know the other healer can keep us both alive. So, if you get potted, the DPS, if they are paying attention, can get you back out, but you got to be careful. So right around 75% health, which is where we are now, he uses Shadow Out of Time to indicate the phase swap. Basically, every time he uses that, it spawns a whole bunch of filth mobs. Just a ton of adds. So we're going to run around over here, just sort of picking up the ones we can. At least in E1, they're not incredibly dangerous. And then we're going to want to make sure that we are over here for the bird that's about to appear. Basically, again, since I am the one who is starting the fight with the lurker, I am also getting the first bird. You can see a second bird has already spawned over there well before we finish this one off. So the other tank already knows they need to go over to that one, because we discussed this before fighting. Should always be doing that. And then hopefully we wipe them out here before the next Shadow Out of Time. Looks like it'll be close, but we'll do it. Maybe. Also, point those birds away from the group, because their little cone will kill all of your DPS, so it's much easier for you to, lazily sidestep out of the way than it is for the entire DPS group to get out of the way. So even if there's two tanks on it, that's fine, whatever. If he swaps aggro back onto me, we can still just easily get out of the way of it. Fortunately, our healer was paying attention. That is one of the big risks of swapping aggro back and forth like that. and hide behind any debris to not get launched back. In E1, this also does not kill you, just like the ads don't very quickly. You should be able to kill them even as a DPS before they kill you, but it will knock you back and sit you down on your butt for about 4 seconds, so you don't want that to happen. Oh, we get our own little ad to beat up over here while we wait for the bird. So as you can see, there's 3 spawn points, one next to this police cruiser, one next to the theater, and one next to the mailbox truck and fire truck over there. There are 4 birds in any second phase. And they continue just going counterclockwise. So if we were to die here and then have to do another phase 2, it would actually start at theater and then go theater, truck, patrol cruiser, theater, and so on. So now that we've killed all the birds and we are back on the lurker, we are going to run in here. Even if there's filth in the way, which there will sometimes be, just run in there, face roll on your aggro force, and go crazy. Because if you do not, your healer will take aggro and your healer will die. So now we are back at the same sort of thing we were doing before. However, there are a couple new rules. The first one is that Mei-Ling, Rose, and Alex will give us these cool little buff circles. You want to stand in them as often as you can to get about a 2 times damage bonus. And he will also be using Shadow out of time, which means that along with having to deal with occasionally having to move out of the way for all the DPS and possibly the tanks, you will also have to deal with ads from behind, as you've already seen. Basically, if you can help out with them, then you'd want to. And if you have any stacks of the Whisper of Darkness afflict right here, Shadow out of time does not affect you. So you can continue tanking without worrying, which is pretty great. I am waiting for the ads to appear here. I don't know if I'll have enough time to actually do anything, which is disappointing. But hopefully the DPS are taking care of it. They want to be targeting the ads first. Sometimes they don't. Looks like this group is great, even for the pug group that we just found in... No stacks this time. I'm behind cover. Even for a pug group that we just found in Group Finder, using Shift V. Word to the wise, the first time you pick this up, you will have to pick it up from one of those modules in Agartha, one of those red Activity Finder modules. You won't just be able to immediately go through Shift V and get to this, so do be wary of that. And we're doing alright. We're going to stop attacking, we're going to make sure there's no pods, nothing else that we can really help with. And we're going to stand behind this rubble. Now when he gets to a small percentage of his health left, I don't know, like 10% or something, he will actually use a gigantic, like, 2-fisted attack that just wipes out this entire area where we are. It's really fast. You have to already be getting out of the way of it by the time it starts, or you will get hit by it, even if you know it's coming. So when that happens, you don't want to be anywhere close. We're actually going to back off here. Just back off entirely. We're going to use the aggro that we have gained. Woo! Over the time from just the amount of time we've already been fighting, and we're going to use that. So I'm just not even gonna be close. We're just not even close. There it is. It's super fast. As you can see, some people are not going to get out of the way. Kills even the tank immediately, as you saw there. We hopefully maybe have enough people and enough time left to win. I think we'll be fine. Basically, you don't want to get hit by that. But if you have to bring a dash or something, you can bring a dash as your gadget instead and bring Evulsion. That's a perfectly fine strategy. And that is the fight. That's what it looks like. We had a great healer. We had a good tank that was knowing what they were doing. We had DPS who knew how to pod and make sure that nobody else was getting hit by those pods except for themselves. And usually they were dodging out of the way of it. And they were placing filth nicely. We just had a great group. So that is the E1 version of the New York Raid. Make sure you thank your party for being good. And let's see here. So we are still on cooldown for the good rewards for this. Even the bad one is a couple of 1000cc. This is true for story mode too, actually. 1000cc weapon distillates and some anima shards. If you're doing this for when it's not on cooldown, you'll get 3 of these, and they are 5,000 experience each. It's tons. Plus, you have the ability to get new dungeon drop gear. It'll be raid drop gear, I guess. And you'll be able to get some unique cosmetic items. So, it's pretty nice. It gives you a lot of really good stuff. And even if you are on cooldown, it's still kind of fun to run the raid, and they still allow you to at the reduced rewards that you see here. And it's super duper worth it, even to just do story mode. It still gives you 5,000 experience just till it's on story mode right now. I don't know, they may change that, but for now, it's pretty great. You should do it as often as you can. And that is how you tank New York Raid. In fact, this is pretty much a full explanation of tanking, what you should do if you're the Potter or the DPS, and the healing is pretty easy, right? Heal the tank that's got the aggro, and make sure that random people aren't dying to stuff if they're not getting one-shot. Well, hope that this helps you to know what to do for New York Raid, and there's some new content going to be coming out pretty soon as well. I will see you there.